here's what people don't understand, or maybe they do understand. I'm gonna. And now you have the president of the United States sharing doctored photos of Kilmar's knuckles, right? With MS-13 on it, right? Which it's not, right?
Oh, case closed. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Don't have a smily face and a cross on your arms, just like Pete Hegseth.
I was going to say, if we're going to start like really going after and interpreting tattoos, then maybe we start with the SecDef. Maybe we start with the Secretary of Defense. I'm just saying. This is insane to me. When the President of the United States sends out a Temu tweet yesterday, and in that, the 6 words, "We cannot give a trial to everyone." We cannot give everyone a trial. We cannot give everyone a trial. And then you had
the definition of the end of democracy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the end of due process is, the end of democracy. I mean, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's saying this is no longer America.
2 days or 3 days before that, you had JD Vance coming out saying that it's impractical for this administration to follow the due process clause of the Constitution. So you have a unified executive branch right now saying that it's not practical for us to give everybody due process. It's not practical. We can't do it. Listen. And I know, Felice, you agree with me here. This is it. Like, when you start saying that not everyone is afforded due process rights, that the country that we recognize is gone. It's just, we are not who we claim to be.
Exactly. I mean, and God, I mean, you know me, I yell about this in group chat, where anywhere anyone will listen to me yell about the importance of due process. I have many issues with Gavin Newsom lately, and the absolute weird he's been up to, like, you know, like licking Steve Bannon's BALLS in his spare time, whatever he's trying to do. It's very strange. And I don't know if you saw this quote from him, but he said, well, everyone's worried, kind of like, I mean, let me just paraphrase. I'm not reading the quote. You know, everyone's worried about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and immigration. And that's just a distraction from, you know, us all being robbed by Trump. And I just want to say something. And again, yes, we are all being robbed by billionaires. We have been for a long time. I think Gavin Newsom's like extreme wealth has allowed him for years to seemingly not care about that. We've all been terrified of an oligarchy forming, and certainly Trump is about to bankrupt the country. And in addition to that, it is very important to understand, right? And I think Senator Chris Van Hollen said this beautifully when he was talking on Friday, and then again when he was on Sunday political shows. I am not defending Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man, nor am I his defense lawyer against crimes he may or may not have committed. I am defending everybody whose feet are on American soil's right to due process.
Right.
Period. Right to have their day in court. Period. And I just want to draw a comparison, because I keep seeing, if I have to, I don't, for your mental health, be on X, but if you are, this is what I have to hear. look what the J6ers were, look what happened to them. And they're defending this illegal immigrant, which I hate saying those words, but that's what they're saying. I want to help you, MAGA, because I know you can't, it's your feelings. They get in the way of any logic and any facts. The J6ers had lawyers. Most of them awaited their trial outside of jail. They got bond hearings, right? They had a jury of their peers. They had a judge, right? I mean, they had legal aid. Most of these people had lawyers other people paid for. That's called, let me help you, due process.
Oh, shit.
That's called your day in court, a right to a speedy trial. What you got, J6ers, was due mother effing process. And that's all anyone's saying about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And one more hypocrisy I just have to just point out, because it's another thing that they're doing. But like, you could tell the desperate flailing, right? Like the flailing is getting pathetic. They're running out of things. Like you just said, I mean, the knuckle tattoo interpretation had to be the worst of the worst. But another one right before that, a couple days before, and last week when I made the mistake of deciding to debate again, and then I remember why I don't debate MAGA, because whenever they lose to a woman, then they say, oh, you should be raped, which is also a good time. That literally happened to me. I'm sorry you're not smart. That doesn't mean I should be sexually violated because your brain doesn't work. But this person who I'm talking about comes on and is screaming like, did you see what he hit his wife? He hit his wife. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an abuser. Now, if you don't know anything about this and somehow you escaped one of MAGA's latest weird tactics, the point is that a few years ago, Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wife filed a civil protective order against Kilmar. And I want to help you, MAGA, with your hypocrisy and lines of logic that collapse in on themselves. They fold in on themselves like lawn chairs. Please do not ever pretend that you care about women, conservatives. If you are voting conservative, do not, I mean, I enjoy laughing in your face, so maybe do try, but don't publicly try to, in a debate, follow the line of logic that conservatives care about women. If you're saying, because let me help you with that logic. If you're saying anybody a woman in this country, 1 in 3 women have been essayed or raped in this country. If you're saying any woman who filed a civil protective order, can we just, without due process, can we remove you all?
Yeah.
Because I'm fine with that. Let's go. Pack it up, MAGA, because it's going to be most of you. Pack it up, because, you know, I'm so excited to round you all up, you people that have abused women, and mail you to El Salvador without due process. You are don't ever bring up hurting women as if you give a about that. None of you do. The guy you voted for, let me help you. You're trying to point out a civil protective order. Trump had a day in civil court too,
right? Where
he faced a jury of his peers and was found unanimously liable for S abuse. And that was due process that happened. So if you're trying to imply, let's due process be damned, let's just get anybody, you know, the millions of unprocessed rape kits. Let's not worry about those, just in case any woman has ever filed a police report or a civil protective order. Let's get you all out of here. Let's go. That makes perfect. I'm actually on board with that. That's the first great idea you guys have had.
100%.
Please, never pretend you care about women. It is effing laughable. And here's the last fact, because you know me. I just would like to point out women. Because, you know, women, this is why, if you ever wonder why women are always watching Dateline and other types of unaliving shows, it's because we're trying to make plans for how we're going to stay alive. Right. You know, it preoccupies our thoughts because women, we are in so much danger. We are the prey gender of the species. So I just want to be clear. As a woman, because I'm so over concerned with our safety, with my safety, I know statistically, MAGA, here comes math. Due to statistical analysis, I know that I am where I am most safe. If I do not, and I'm not saying obviously all men are capable of hurting women, but I'm saying where I have the least likely chance of being assaulted is if I move to a neighborhood of undocumented immigrants. That is where I statistically am safest. White men in America are 30% more likely to be incarcerated. And if we count on the disproportionate incarceration of black men, then 60% more likely to be incarcerated than undocumented immigrants. So please never pretend that you care about women. It is an absolute joke. I am safer amongst undocumented immigrants. And I want to be sure to say that doesn't mean that no undocumented immigrant has ever committed a crime or even a heinous crime. Right? We can never reduce instances of crime to zero. But all we can look at as statistics, and I have a better chance of not being assaulted amongst undocumented immigrants than American citizens.
You know, there were 2 studies that found that at least 40% of police officer families are victims of domestic violence.
Oh, of course they're. You know, Dr. Danny and I talk about this all the time, which she won't be able to come because you have your appointment later probably. But if you don't know this, and I can't remember the name, but there's a test for psychopathy. And if you're not aware of this, cops test off the charts. One of the professions where the tendencies towards psychopathy are highest are cops.
It's crazy. 2 studies have found that at least 40% of police officer families experience domestic violence, in contrast to 10% of families in the general population.
That's not surprising in any way. One of my favorite college courses I ever took at university was the former head of the SEX crimes division in the Northwest for the FBI.
Yeah.
He was a retired FBI agent, and the class was called the S Abuse of People. And that was his advice to it. He's like, if you ever have any interaction with a police officer, whether a victim or an accused, he's like, you need to approach them from the standpoint that they are a psychopath.
Correct.
This is what he would tell us.
Yeah. Insane. This whole thing. And so again, if you've got a domestic violence charge or a TRO out against you for DV, then sure. Yeah. Gone. See ya. Bye. I mean, 40% of the police force is gone.
Is that what you're saying, conservative men? Because you care so much about women, you all should be removed? Anyone who's ever been accused of assault against a woman, any of you, we should just get you out of here before your day in court?
Yep. Just gone.
That sounds great to me. I think that's the first great idea conservative men have had. Your hypocrisy is absolutely laughable. And another thing, I have this clip, I should go look for it. Chris Hayes on MSNBC had someone on his show a couple days ago, and this is one of the leading experts on MS-13 in the world.
Yeah.
He's like spent his life studying and understanding MS-13 and writing books about it. Guess what? The one thing that all experts understand, which, I mean, I've said this before, but listening to this expert speak, it was fascinating. MS-13 does not identify nor promote tattoos in any way.
Right.
Because it is idiotic. Let me just say, if I was going to start a gang, the dumbest thing you can do
is advertise that you're in the fucking gang. Yeah.
Why don't you just have a signed confession in your pocket?
Yeah.
Like that's notarized, by a justice of the peace.
Right. Yeah. What a fucking dumb. Yeah. Anyway, all of this to come back to, like, everything here is around. Yeah, exactly, Jaden. The first rule of Fight Club. Right? You don't talk about Fight Club. Right?
Tattoo, I'm in Fight Club. I'm in across Fight Club. Your forehead.
We meet Thursdays at 7:00 p.m. at this address. It's stupid, right? Absolutely fucking stupid. But all of this goes back to the President of the United States, Timu, tweeting out that not everyone gets a trial. Not everyone gets a trial. The due process be damned. The vice president of the United States says it's impractical for this administration to give everyone due process. I mean, and then he went and killed the Pope. But, you know, I mean, and
don't ever have a meeting with Couch Boy. He might talk you to death.
Let me just I put a video up about this also, but let me just share this. I'm not saying JD Vance killed the Pope. I'm saying I get choosing to willingly die versus have a second conversation with him.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I said. Hold on, someone else. There's the funniest. I have to find it. You're gonna die laughing when you hear this. Someone wrote something like that on X, and I was like crying laughing. It's like, just to clarify, I'm not saying he killed the Pope. I'm saying I get willingly dying versus having a second conversation with him. Choose to no longer make it as a result.
God was like, "Oh, that's enough. That's enough. Just come on." God was like, "You've suffered enough. You've suffered enough." Like, jeez.
Did you see Pete Hegseth? That's a whole nother topic. I don't want to pivot, but like Pete Hegseth at the Easter egg hunt, like crying and screaming like a maniac.
What? No.
Here we go. This is Joe, the guy who has the account Joe's Junk Food, which is funny. It's a column on Substack, said, quote, "I don't think JD Vance unalived the Pope. I think meeting JD Vance probably drained the Pope's will to live. It's subtly different." Oh God! But we should talk about Pete Hegseth.
Hold on.
And Signalgate Take 9.
Oh, hold on. Pete Hegseth melts down in front of kids and rants to save jobs. I didn't. No, hold on.
Oh my God. And Trump, they're like at an Easter egg hunt, like taking turns screaming while standing around children who are like trying to find eggs. Trump is showing the kids table like a card, like what looks to be a baseball card, but details his assassination attempt. Then he's like stealing crayons from kids, asking people I mean, it was the weirdest. Pete Hegseth had his children. I thought they were random kids. And then I remembered, Pete Hegseth has all these kids from different women. Because there was like a gaggle of, I thought, I was like, why are all these random kids?
Right here?
This is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me. Because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with access to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know it, we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president, fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much.
Kids are like, can we go look for some eggs? Like, what is going on?
Chud.
Dad of the year right there. Dad of the year.
Jesus
Dad of the year.
That is hilarious.
At pickup at school, he's screaming into the camera.
Just yelling at random parents picking up their kids.
Oh yeah, and he has one sideburn. People in the comments are correctly identifying. I don't know if you noticed, but Aaron Rupar, who's an independent journalist, was like, why does Pete Hegseth have one sideburn? One of his sideburns is not there.
Hold on.
Only one sideburn is present for some reason.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh my gosh, Keg's breath. I never heard that. That was funny, Sherry.
Okay, there's
tap
the sideburn.
Screen. Let's get Matt to 100K. Everyone tap the screen.
Hold on. Let me pull this up. This is what we're gonna. Okay, so there's. All right, hold on. Let me go back. All right, so we've got sideburn right there. Okay, we've got sideburn. Let me see the other side. Turn and no sideburn. What the fuck? He's so drunk.
This man's running our military.
Oh my God.
Sideburns.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
What could go wrong? You guys, everything's fine. Sleep well at night. This man's in charge.
Look at this. All right. Sideburn. All right. I don't know. Hold on.
Oh
let me blow this. Let me make this a little bit bigger here so that everybody can see. Okay. All right. Sideburn. Okay. And no sideburn.
He shaved off his own sideburn. Like,
oh my God. What the fuck? That is.
I know. His kids look like they're hostages. Did you? They were like.
Oh my God. This dude can't even shave properly. Fuck.
He's not well.
My God. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
He's running the military.
Sideburn and no sideburn.
Just
Jesus Christ.
Drinking.
Do you know how much of an ass chewing a fucking recruit in the United States Marine Corps boot camp would get if they showed up like a morning inspection with one sideburn and no sideburn? That's
like a lifelong nickname. Do you know what I mean? Like that you never live down.
Oh my
for the
God.
rest of your life.
This is the funniest fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Goddamn whiskey leaks can't
and
even
his
fucking
kids like
shave
help me
properly.
in the background. Look at the kid in the background.
I know. Look at him. He's like, God damn it. Is that one of his kids?
Yes, they're all his kids. The
That's
ones
all
behind him in the half
okay.
circle. Well, yeah, because at different points in the rant, like him and Trump would like take turns like harassing kids and then walking up to the camera and just screaming things. It was insane. Like I said, Trump had like baseball cards of his assassination attempt and we're just like showing the kids and the kids are like, can I have the crayons? Like
Jesus
it was the
Christ.
weirdest nightmare. And by the way, this Easter egg roll was like sponsored by like 8,000 advertisers or something that gave Trump money.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, he has many kids, if you don't know. I mean, like, just to be clear, and his wife was also standing right there, the wife that has now been in 2 Signal chats getting war plans. Oh, also, she was taken to, I mean, I think I should send you the clip, Matt. I know Fax sent it to me. Another issue they have with her is she's just showing up in, like, NATO meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just letting her sit in on fucking foreign dignitary meetings at the Pentagon.
Or in Belgium, like NATO was meeting, and she just walks in and sits down.
Let me, for those of you that don't know, here's the thing. Like, let's say she has a top secret security clearance. Okay. She doesn't, but let's say she does. That doesn't just carte blanche give you access to every fucking thing in secret in the United States government. There is a thing called need to know access, right? Even if you have the highest fucking security clearance possible, if you don't meet that need to know access, you don't get access to it. She doesn't need to know anything. Nothing. So the fact that even if she had a TSSCI clearance, that does not just mean that she can walk into any fucking thing in the government and have access to it. That's the problem. That you see, this is where I have a huge problem with conservatives in this country. They pretend and will rant and rave about it's either this or that. You either have clearance or you don't. But that's not how it works. There is nuance to fucking everything. You don't just have a security clearance or you don't. You have a security clearance and then you have need to know access to information around that security clearance. That doesn't just, you can't just walk into the National Archives and like, let me into the restricted section. I have a TSSCI. That's not how this fucking works.
I was thinking about what she's doing, And like, I think like this is an example of how much of a cheater she is. Like at any meeting, you know, he might F someone on the table. Do you know what I mean? She's got a full time. She's got to be glued to him because he just might F someone going to the bathroom, taking a 5-minute bathroom break. Like she doesn't know. She's got to watch him. And then another person, I think when Fax and I were live one time said like, no, it's because he can't carry his like flask on him. So she's got
to do it for it.
Yeah, like she's got like a bladder of like, you know, like if you take the plastic out of the box of wine and it's like a bladder of like that's what her purse is. It's just essentially like a spout of like wine.
Camelback of whiskey.
Yes, it's a hydration pack with like a hose that you can have immediate access to.
God damn it.
It's so embarrassing. He's running the military.
This person is in charge of the Department of Defense.
What could go wrong?
He is in charge of the Department of Defense. Unbelievable.
Well, and the signal chat, I mean, because I just want to make sure, like, to me, what's so alarming is just know, if I was China or Russia, and I'm not, let me just not say China or Russia. One of my backgrounds, one of my previous lives, I worked in advertising, but in the tech industry, like in San Francisco for a huge social media company. An NDA prevents me from talking about pre and post IPO. And like, I'll tell you what I learned from sitting in San Francisco around very smart engineers is like, for fun, and I talk about this, it's called 80-20 time. Like because American engineers are so valuable. If they'll just agree to work 80% of the time on like tech companies' work, then they can use all of the tech companies' resources and for 20% of the time and do whatever they want. Right. And sometimes they have like, they call them hackathons, and they just do like, they'll spend like 48 hours competing against each other for who can do something. And like one time, during one of these, all of our phones were hacked. Suddenly, we're all sitting at work, and the engineers broke into all of our phones, sitting there, and like all of a sudden, memes were popping up on people's phones. People were froze out of their phones, and this was just on a Tuesday, like at 10 a.m. because the engineers were bored and were just proving to each other like what they were capable of.
Who can do
so
what?
I'm telling you, understand that Pete Hegseth, this signal chat is on his personal phone.
Personal, yes. His personal unsecure phone. He went to fucking Walmart and picked up an iPhone, and that's his personal phone that he is sending out to the minute fucking plans about attacks against the Houthis to a random group of fucking people who he may or may not even know everybody that's in there.
There's like 11 people, I think, to be clear.
Yeah. In the second one.
Yeah, in the other one, not the one where Mike Waltz, the contacts were being sucked in.
Yeah,
not that one.
No,
that was the more professional.
That was the more professional of the fucking signal groups.
This one.
Now you have the second signal group, which is essentially Pete Hegseth pulling a Jake Teixeira on Discord, being like, "Look how fucking cool I am, guys."
It is. He should be in jail.
That's literally what this is. Look at how fucking cool I am. I just ordered this. I'm so fucking badass.
Well, and you know, they keep calling him his personal lawyer, one of the guys in the chat. I just want to explain, because people, you know, I know way too much. You need to understand who Pete Hegseth's lawyer is. Remember when he was about to be confirmed and there was this lawyer who kept showing up on TV threatening to ruin the life of the woman who credibly accused Pete Hegseth, the Republican white woman who was working at a Republican conference when she was allegedly raped by Pete Hegseth. Yep. That woman said, like, if Pete Hegseth wasn't confirmed SecDef, that they were going to basically come after her, even though she never spoke publicly, and she better not show up to the confirmation hearing to testify. That guy, people don't know who that guy is. I just want everyone to know who Timothy Parlatore is. That guy, and I'll never forget, and it's amazing how this man has 9 lives. That Timothy Parlatore was one of the dumbest lawyers that working for Trump on the Mar-a-Lago docs case. This is one of the guys that helped Trump cover up the docs BS. I remember the first time I ever, like, it's burned into my memory. The first time, it's like he was the short straw lawyer that went on CNN, is like, we are absolutely positive there are no more classified documents. And I just remember laughing hysterically. And I think, they found like 3 more groups of documents. Yeah. After that, he was like the scapegoat that that signed that there was no more documents.
Yep.
And he's still and by the way, do you know he has a job in the Pentagon? Shocking. And I also didn't know this. Yeah, someone said wasn't like Pete's oldest child on that. No, it's like his brother. Did you know
both of his brothers
also works in the Pentagon?
Yep. They both have jobs in the Pentagon.
How great! I didn't know there was even a second one. Like, what the?
Yeah. Yep. And his wife, who, again, why does
Fox
she need
News
to know this
reporter.
shit? Yeah.
Well, I think they're probably selling information, or you know what I mean? I mean, she's probably using it for something. He's the most insecure person, though. I do think that it stems from like wanting to be like, look what I have.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Look how fucking cool I am, guys.
Yeah, he's Jake Teixeira.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. He's literally just... If you gave Jake Teixeira the Secretary of the Department of Defense job, this is what you'd get. I'm cool. God damn it. Look at all this stuff I know.
And think about this, because I don't think people understand this, because like, people kept coming to my live last week and being like, oh, Pete Hegseth's getting fired. But what was happening was, basically 3 people I think were fired, and these are his closest aides. That's what what's interesting about this story is I don't think they're reporting it from the right angle. These are lifetime friends of Pete Hegseth. These are some of his closest like buddies that he brought into the Pentagon. These aren't like military officials. These are people that have been rolling deep with Pete Hegseth for years. And if you listen and really dig in, actually, Tucker Carlson interviewed one of them last night. These are, lifetime Republicans who have been loyal to Pete Hegseth. And they've all said the same thing. Like all of these, and this is what I think, this is all a cover up, right? Like they got word that this stuff was coming out. So all of a sudden last week you hear, oh, they're looking for the leaker in the Pentagon and they're giving everyone polygraph tests. Well, his 2 besties, Caldwell and, oh my God, I can't remember the other one. It starts with an an S. They said, they were never given polygraph tests. They're like, they're like, that's a cover up, or like, that's a complete cover up that as far as they know, they didn't get polygraphs. Yes. They definitely didn't fail polygraphs. They were like, let us take polygraphs, essentially. Right. We have not done a thing wrong. Mm-hmm. And I love watching them like, fire scapegoats, Oh, yeah. Let me help you. Same thing with Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz added that the Atlantic editor to the first shit show signal chat. Yep. Hey, no matter how many people Laura Loomer says in a dream Jesus told her were conspiring against Trump, and then they fired them and said, we got him. We got him. Hey, none of that will ever change. That you guys, Mike Waltz started a signal chat, right? That could be hacked and added an Atlantic reporter. It's still him, and that's the same thing with Pete Hegseth. No matter who you guys fire, you fired his 3 friends. Cool. But none of that will change the fact that Pete Hegseth started a signal chat on his personal phone as the man running the military, which I'm sure has been hacked.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me? Yes. He's the Secretary of Defense. You don't think that every foreign adversarial nation is trying to get access to his personal devices? You don't think that?
First person.
Yeah.
You would try for.
You don't think that they're trying to do that? Oh my God. This is just, listen, at this point, you know what? At this point, just fucking burn it down. Just burn it down. Yeah, we have a president of the United States who's saying we can't give everybody a trial. You've got the Secretary of Defense handing out fucking war plans on unsecure fucking messaging apps and letting his wife sit in on NATO meetings. You've got the vice president killing the Pope. I mean, like, I just, what's next? Like, what's the next thing that happens here? What's the next thing? You've got, fucking doctored pictures of people's knuckles to prove that they're MS-13. You've got the executive branch telling the judicial branch that they're all fucking standing in the way of them doing things.
No, that's like the Supreme Court sending out 1 a.m. unsigned orders to try to rein Trump in. I mean, that's the reality. Taking out the trash on Fridays. John Roberts is like, yeah, Dr. Frank, this is your monster. You better rein him in, John Roberts. It's hilarious now in the dead of night, you're trying to stop him, which, by the way, that order that happened at 1 a.m.
Yep.
On Saturday morning, technically, that happened because Trump didn't listen to the first order.
Right.
It was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And that it just proves Trump continually is overplaying his hand. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
If Trump just would have done what they said, which people didn't read the first order. So I think people like the headlines were like, oh, Trump wins. Like he can keep deporting people. That's not what that order effing said.
Yeah.
It said very important things, which said, hey, if you want to continue removing people with the Alien Enemies Act, they get what? Due process. They have to be notified. They have to have counsel. They have to be represented, and they have to have a chance to defend themselves in court. And the second major thing was also you brought this, which I think was a tactic. And this is how much this is my very high analysis. I've read every court document about both these orders. And I just want to say, this is how I know that John Roberts is like, oh my effing God, I created a monster and now I have to do something about it. Because the first order, it said, you have to give everyone due process. Even though we all know he shouldn't be deporting people under the Alien Enemies Act. That's absurd. But since John Roberts is still very much on Trump's side, he didn't even address that. He didn't even address that they're not deporting people. They're sending them to a prison in El Salvador.
Exactly.
And we're paying that prison $6 million a year. None of that was addressed. All he said was the most important thing. Give them due process. And the second thing, which I very much saw, if you understand how our appeals courts work and what type of appeals courts the Fifth Circuit is, they said, stop filing this stuff in DC, where, it's more liberal and the appeals circuit above it is liberal. They said, you have to file it in Texas, where the planes are leaving from, which if you understand who rules above Texas, that is the famed, and by famed, I mean shameful Fifth Circuit, which if you don't know who's on the Fifth Circuit, it is people auditioning to be the next Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. I mean, these people are next level whack jobs. They're like literally like, I'll show you, Trump. I'm the craziest judge on earth. Like, I will outdo Clarence Thomas for you. Just give me a chance. So I immediately when I saw that, I was like, oh, because Roberts knows the Fifth Circuit will always side with Trump because they have the majority and these people want to replace Alito and Clarence Thomas. Like Judge Ho is one of the craziest people I've ever heard write an opinion. So, and if no one understands this, but what's so interesting about what happened Friday was, because they had to start the case over in Texas, the Fifth Circuit was writing a ruling. Okay. And people don't even know why the Supreme Court did what they did. Just to be clear, and I was talking about this on the People's Receipts and monitoring it, and I was like so paranoid all day, and actually starting Thursday night, the immigration lawyers were sounding the alarm all across the internet because they were loading up more planes. They were going to mail more people on Friday without due process to El Salvador. And so immigration lawyers were like, this is happening. These planes are loading up. And it wasn't just in Texas. That's one place they were trying to get some judge. They were fighting in like Maryland. They were fighting in many courts, different immigration lawyers to try to get some judge to stop this plane from leaving the ground. Even though last time a judge stopped the plane and Trump still sent the planes, but they were trying to get, an appeals circuit or try to get to the Supreme Court to say he's about to do it again. Like someone's got to stop him. Someone's got to stop him. And the Fifth Circuit they got to the Fifth Circuit. And the Fifth Circuit was delaying.
Right.
They were going to let those planes leave, basically. And they're like, oh, our ruling's coming. You know, and by all accounts, and what people are saying is the Fifth Circuit was going to rule in Trump's favor or just delay long enough, you know, so that the planes left anyways. They were just like, oh, we're going to, you know, you have to wait. We're going to write our full ruling. And John Roberts, Amy Cody Barrett joined, as a MAGA pastor recently called them, the four Jezebels.
Right.
The four Jezebels and John Roberts, who are working against Trump, joined together in the middle of the night and were very clearly so worried, knew the Fifth Circuit wasn't going to do anything.
Yep.
And wrote that order in the dead of night. And Alito and Psycho Clarence were so pissed. Alito's dissent is insane. Like,
yeah.
He's like, no one should get due process. I'm a lawyer and I'm insane. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah. It's,
and that's why it happened, because they
knew.
The Fifth Circuit's like, you knew we had a ruling coming down, and John Roberts is very clear. That's how you know John Roberts knows, like, man, did I F up?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the entire fucking Supreme Court effed up years ago.
Well, Samuel and Alito, or Clarence and Samuel think they're doing just fine.
Oh, yeah. Those two are fine.
Can I just say one thing about Clarence Thomas that people don't know? One of the most famous, like the Southern District, I'm such a fan of the legal, like I love the law because it's the last place the truth matters. Like I'm a historical researcher. That's why I'm always reading court documents, because I love that people are under oath. And the most famous federal court is the hallowed halls of the Southern District, where Thurgood Marshall ruled. Thurgood Marshall is one of the most famous Supreme Court justices. He's a brilliant, genius black man.
Yep.
And if you don't know why Clarence Thomas is there, it's exactly what they tried to do to replace Raphael. He's the what's that football player's name? They tried
Herschel Walker.
He's the Herschel Walker of the Supreme Court. Yes.
Yep.
They were like, okay, Thurgood Marshall's going away. And you know how Republicans are. They're like, just get any black guy.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll just replace him. Clarence Thomas is the Herschel Walker of the Supreme Court. Know that. Thurgood Marshall is rolling around in his grave being like, how dare you replace me with this incompetent weirdo?
Yep. Yeah, it's insane. And you know what we haven't even touched on yet is the fact that the Secretary of Homeland Security had her purse stolen at a restaurant with her DHS badge in it, $3,000 and a bunch of other shit. We haven't even talked about that yet.
Guys, thank you for the fax raid. I just saw you guys are all here. Is fax in the request? I remember we were all supposed to. I just want to make sure we're not missing. Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
But thank you guys. I saw the fax raid. I'm taking over Matt's live. Thank you guys for being here. And we're almost to 100K. So everyone get Matt to 100K. Because we're working hard. And also, Catherine, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate you guys so much. My Cash App and Venmo are A Girl Has No Name. If you would like to support me, you are more than welcome, because my small business runs on your tips and donations. You guys are amazing. And Fax should be here soon, because we're planning on doing a little something.
We got a little something.
But anyways, what haven't we touched on? Because there's so many absurdities together.
Oh, no, just the fact that Kristi Noem had her purse stolen.
What do you think about that? Because I have some theories.
I think I think it's very interesting that the Secretary of Homeland Security, with all of the security that she travels with, had her purse stolen.
What I said
from a restaurant.
This is my first reaction. And let me just say, and when I was reading, and there are very clearly a lot of people and a lot of mistakes and a lot of whistleblowers that are now coming forward. And that's why all of a sudden you heard, oh, they're doing lie detector tests in the Pentagon, and then everyone's like, I never got one. And I didn't and I have no idea. It's because they knew these horrible stories about Pete were coming. And now they're trying to cover them up. And by the way, they're saying there's more, like, I don't think this is it for the crap that's coming out about Pete Hegseth. I think there's even more. And that's why they're making this whole, all these leakers, because a bunch of incompetence is about to be revealed by whistleblowers. And if you don't understand how the press works, you're contacted beforehand and they're like, hey, we have knowledge of this. Do you want to comment? You have to legally tell the person before you're running stories about them. And so that's my impression with the Kristi Noem thing. This is how they get in front of whatever information is about to come out about her being an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Let me see, because there's a bunch. I know that there was her.
First of all, I want to know what the medication was. I want to know what
had $3,000 cash in this bag.
No, you know why I think they said that? So they can charge it with the highest felony. Because you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, look.
They said her family was in town and she was going to pay in cash for them to all go to dinner. What?
Sure.
What?
Her driver's license,
Where,
medication, apartment keys, passport, DHS access badge, makeup bag, blank checks, and about $3,000 in cash.
Exactly. I want to know what the meds are, and I'm just saying why no one has $3,000 in cash. And I just want to say this is a person traveling with a Secret Service detail. You're telling me they can't protect the purse? Then give up.
Yeah. First of all, and let's not gloss over the fact that she is the secretary for the Department of Homeland Security and can't even secure her own shit. Amazing. We're winning.
Who has a checkbook? What is she then doing with the checkbook? None of this makes any sense.
Yeah. Nobody has a checkbook anymore.
Well,
unless you're 80 years old.
I mean, okay, so are you saying, my point is, I think they're setting the precedent that, okay, something was stolen from, let's say, a device that probably has some information, but really that's not what it's about. There's probably going to be, Kristi, there's probably going to be some embarrassing information about her incompetence coming out. And then they're going to be like, see, they stole it, so it shouldn't count.
Well, if you want to see how incompetent Kristi Noem is, just look at that picture of her cosplaying as a fucking border patrol agent with that M4 rifle, where she's holding it so fucking awkwardly. Hold on, let me see if I can find this thing.
No, I know, and I have Ruben Gallego, who's a former Marine.
Yeah.
He was made a video. It was like, what the? She's about to blow someone's head.
Oh my God. Okay. Hold on.
I have two different former Marines, I think, commenting about her just being I'm embarrassed.
This shit is embarrassing as fuck. All right. Let me pull up this fucking picture here. All right. Let me just show you all this. This is embarrassing as fuck. As a former rifle pistol coach in the Marine Corps. Okay. First off, nobody that has ever held a fucking rifle before holds the pistol grip like that. Nobody. Not a single fucking person does that. Her thumb is closer to the fucking trigger than her trigger finger is. Nobody holds it like that. Not a single fucking person. Secondly, her ejection port cover is open. Why? Fucking close that shit. Jesus Christ, close the ejection port cover. 2, she's flagging the guy to her left. Literally, that muzzle is pointed right at his face. Right at his fucking face. Oh my God, is it? I wish it was a clearer picture, because I want to see if the safety is at least on. I can't tell, but hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in here and see if the safety is at least on. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a clear enough picture. Oh my God, what is this?
I wish I can find these videos of people and from the former Marines.
I can't tell.
I'm so embarrassed.
This is
be here.
This is the absolute most embarrassing fucking picture that I've ever seen in my entire
she
fucking
wears bulletproof vests without the stuff that would prevent. Do you know what I'm saying? The
yeah, she doesn't have the plates
inside.
in it. Yeah,
so
she doesn't have
you
the
know who
plates.
else does that? Pete Hegseth.
Yeah. Let me just, for shits and giggles here. If she had shown up on a range that I was a coach on, I would kick her off the range. I would kick her. I'd be like, get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. Automatic failure. Get the fuck out. This is embarrassing. As a fucking Marine who taught people how to fucking shoot, this is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Jesus Christ. And listen, I was at Weapons Training Battalion in Quantico, Virginia, right? So I was teaching second lieutenants how to fucking shoot.
I found these clips.
All right. I was teaching second lieutenants how to shoot. Second lieutenants are, you're hit or miss with second lieutenants. If you were ever in the military, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Say that. Well, tell me, because I want to understand. I like
second lieutenants. You're going to get one of two things. You're either going to have a second lieutenant who comes in understanding that yes, they're college educated, but when it comes to the military, they don't know fucking anything, right? They don't know anything. So they're going to be.
I got it now. Yeah.
So they're going to be open to criticism and critique and correction. And then you have butter bars that are like, I'm a fucking lieutenant and you got to salute me and blah, blah, blah. And they're just high on fucking power. She strikes me as the butter bar that would question the sergeant major for why he didn't salute her. That's what she would be the butter bar that is like, excuse me, First Sergeant, you owe me a salute.
Do you know what also is so sickening about her? And I don't know if you guys know this. Like, I have a video of her like on Christmas with a mother flamethrower.
Yeah.
Like incinerating like a pile of garbage, being like my favorite thing to, I have a collection of weapons. Like, this is what I do. I shoot all the time. I'm like, yeah, only your pet dogs in gravel pits with shotguns, apparently. That's the only thing. But I'm saying like this, she's a woman that acts like she's at the range every day.
Every fucking day.
She's grown up with them. So that's why it's annoying. Like, I admit, I shouldn't have weapons mainly because of my temperament. So I'm not gonna, at least I'm not pretending to be an expert with weapons and then looking like this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, anybody, I don't care who you are, anybody that has ever held a rifle before would never fucking hold it like this. Ever. They would never hold it like this. That is the most awkward, grip I have ever seen on a fucking rifle. She looks confused. I would have taken that rifle away from her and be like, hold this stick. Just hold this stick, Christy. You're going to be just as effective with this stick as you are with this rifle.
Open the text. I sent you the link to Ruben Gallego. Be like, what the is this woman doing? Like, if Ruben Gallego's the junior senator in Arizona. He's a former Marine. I like him too because I have diagnosed PTSD. I like anybody who has PTSD. He's legit too. Ruben Gallego is awesome.
Ruben, he was a representative and then ran for Senate and won. He beat out what's her stupid name?
Carrie Lake, the best player on our team. Carrie, run for another position. Carrie Lake has helped us take the governorship in Arizona, now the junior senator. We would not have these if Carrie Lake didn't continue to delusionally think anyone in Arizona likes her. Keep going, Carrie. What can you run for next?
Here's something that I want to say about Ruben's video, because he points out that so the ejection port cover is open and the bolt is forward with the magazine inserted. That tells me that there's probably a round in the chamber. Okay, sure. Or she is just so goddamn incompetent that the bolt was already forward and she put the fucking magazine in anyway. She like sent the bolt forward, opening the ejection port cover, and just inserted the magazine. And there's actually nothing in the fucking chamber, because that would make more sense to me. Because that's how stupid I think Kristi Noem is. That's how dumb I think. She's like, okay, so I send this forward. Okay. And then I put this in the thing, and then I hold it in the most awkward fucking way possible. And now I'm cool as fuck.
She swears she grew up with ARs. It's
there
the weirdest
is no
thing.
fucking
That's what
way.
she says, though. She keeps saying this.
There is no goddamn way that this woman has ever held an AR or any rifle ever in the history of her existence. Because again, a 6-year-old that has held a rifle would never come back the second time and hold it like this. Period. They wouldn't. Nobody holds it this goddamn awkwardly. Nobody. It is the dumbest. Oh God. This makes me so irrationally angry every time I see this
Play Ruben's
picture.
video really quick.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Or just
all right. Hold on.
Unless there was a puppy involved.
All right. Hold on. Here we go. Oh,
hey, Vax. Sorry. This is Matt and I just yell at each other.
You seen this picture? Let me explain to you how this is all cosplay. Number one, anyone that's ever been in combat, whether it's Marines, been an officer, or anything else like that, you would never wear a flak jacket like that. Sloppy, put on, it's like get snag on something, you try to breach a door, go through any kind of very high intensity situation. Number two, what's going on with the ejection port there? Either means that there's a round in chamber, or you're just being slapped and keeping it open. Number three, you have a magazine inserted. That tells me you likely have a round in chamber. And if you have a round in chamber, the most important thing you have to always dealing with weapons handling is you have to assume every weapon is loaded. And you're pointing that weapon directly at that guy's head to the left-hand side. So that is a problem, Secretary Noem. And number four, the bigger and biggest problem of all, stop deporting people without due process. You continue to deport innocent men and women that have rights to stay here, and you're deporting them out of this country when they should be here and they have a right to stay here.
And can I just say, like, in Arizona, we have a certain type of senator, like John McCain. I don't agree with a lot of his politics, but in Arizona, we love a war hero. So we had to replace John McCain was big shoes to fill. And we now have an astronaut. We have an astronaut, and we have Ruben Gallegos.
Yeah, well, you have an astronaut who was a Navy pilot who flew combat missions.
Oh, I know.
Just
Mark
like
Kelly
John McCain.
Mark Kelly, when I say, and his twin as well. Mark Kelly, we have twin astronauts who are combat pilots who have both been to space. And when I say, like, Ruben Gallegos is a badass, when you're like, those people that just give off the energy, like, I don't care. But Mark Kelly, when you are in the presence of Mark Kelly, like, it's the General Milley energy. It's just like, nothing phases me. You're a joke to me. Like, I laugh in your face. Like, all without saying a word. You know what? I didn't even notice because I was so focused on the rifle part of this picture. But he's right. This flak jacket here, this plate holder that she's wearing, like, it's not secure on her right side over here. Like, her arm is underneath it on this side. It's like going over her fucking arm. Over here, she's not even got. It's like, here, put this on and then hold this rifle, and then they took a picture. She just hooked up with Corey Lewandowski, and she just was throwing it back on.
Oh my God! This is just like the dumbest fucking. And oh my God! All right. Anyway, this picture.
It's gonna kill you. It's literally gonna. I can tell it's gonna kill you.
Can we lobby to have her change the spelling of her last name to GNOME?
Oh my God, I will spend like a full-time job doing that.
Just
that's
doing
my new
that.
Favorite.
Like, yes.
That's my new favorite thing. That should be one of our missions, and our mission statement.
Oh my God.
Lobbying Kristi Noem to change her name to GNOME, because that makes perfect sense.
God, that picture. Oh my God, it makes me so angry every time I see it. Like, fuck. Every time I see it, I find something else that's wrong. And it's like, oh God, I would have failed you immediately
That picture brought together MAGA and the liberals. You know, everyone in the military on X was just like, ew. Like, that was one of the only times I saw MAGA and liberals on X getting along, was just being like, ew, she's disgusting.
Oh my God. For the party that's like, everybody should have a weapon. That is a prime example of why everybody should not have one. That is my go-to. Why shouldn't everybody have guns? Because the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security holds it like this. That right there tells me she's fucking incompetent with weapons and should never be allowed to handle one ever again. Period.
But they only hire the best, man.
The best. I actually, you know what? I might call Kristi Noem later today, the Department of Homeland, and just ask them for the 4 rifle safety rules. The 4 safety rules. The 4 firearm safety rules. There's 4 of them, and they're embedded in you in the military. There's 4 firearm safety rules. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Keep your fingers straight and off the trigger. Keep your weapon on safe and until you are ready to fire. And keep your God damn it, I got it all mixed up. Whatever. Anyway, there's 4, right? There's 4.
Murder every dog you own.
Murder every dog you own. It's just, oh my God. I'm so like my brain is in scrambles right now. Every time. Yeah. Don't point your weapon at anybody's fucking head. Kristi Noem. Oh my God. Okay. I'm so fucking worked up about this that I'm like, goddamn. Yeah. Anyway.
We could have a 6-hour live just like about Kristi Noem.
I could. Yeah, I could. Oh my God. I'm gonna lose it. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. Pivot, because I'm gonna have a goddamn heart attack. Steve, take over,
because Matt's having an ADHD meltdown, and once someone starts, I join them.
So, hi everybody. So we've all been promoting this, and first of all, thanks for having me up. I appreciate it. Tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, the first of what we hope is many virtual town halls. Myself and Matt and Felice. And Felice, I want to give Felice all the credit because she's been talking about this for a very long time. And we're finally here that we're going to do this. Tonight's going to be the sort of the kickoff show. We've got a couple of things that we're going to discuss. The first hour is probably going to be just more or less the 3 of us kind of talking about a lot of the things that we talk about daily, but in a different format. It's the 3 of us banging ideas off each other and banging suggestions and thoughts and opinions and attitudes. And Matt will share his love for Kristi Noem. We know that. And then Felice will profess her love for Nancy Mace. And then we'll move on.
It's going to be a full hour.
Full hour for that alone. And then the second hour will likely be, or depending on how the schedule goes, will be people who want to come up and have conversations. So many of us have expressed so many times about what we can do and how we can do something. I know Matt's been at a lot of rallies. I've been at rallies recently. Felice has been at rallies. So we're going to hopefully use the energy of the 3 of us and either motivate people to get more involved, or finding causes that people can support, or just being aware that democracy is under threat. And we are here to try to be voices and faces of the resistance. And I am honored to be able to join the 3 of you. Tonight, 7 o'clock, I'll be hosting it on my live. Then we'll rotate it around. Matt will host 1 week. Felice will host 1 week. But we want you all to come back.
Yeah, and I see it this way, like, originally, the idea was to start a series of virtual town halls. Not everyone can attend a town hall, or not everyone's congressional reps are attending town halls. But we want to have a series of virtual town halls, right? And I think, and don't quote me on this, but the idea will be like the effing fight for, right? And then depending as we get closer to the midterms, that could be healthcare, that could be education, or we could be talking about a certain election race, a candidate that we're promoting, whatever the case may be, a region. But it's what we want to do is be able to have a town hall series that gives voice to people like all of us who have opinions, thoughts, and feelings, and then can express them. And then hopefully as this grows and leads up to the midterms, then we can join, if we want, with super PACs who want to promote their ideas, or, that we approve of. Not any super PAC will do. I really don't like them. But you know what I'm saying. Or we can help candidates boost their profiles, the DNC as we get closer. That's the general idea, because if there's one thing I think Steve and I can agree on, like we have this background in advertising and marketing, and I used to always feel like my job was to sort of manipulate. And I mean, that's what advertising is. You're reverse engineering ideas into people's heads. It's quite insidious. I felt quite guilty about it. And the thing is, and this is what I always say, like sometimes Matt and I are just screaming on here at people like, everyone needs to be doing something. And people are like, what the F should I do? If you have a skill set, take marketing and advertising. I had this skill set that I considered quite devious and didn't feel great about sometimes when I was using it. Now more than ever, if you understand the tenets and the basics of marketing and advertising, and you understand like how to use, now we finally have something to use our powers for good to combat the biggest misinformation and disinformation campaign that is going to steal our futures out from under us. Now is the time to finally use all of our powers for good. Yes, it's 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to do a little roundtable discussion. Fax has a great background in radio, and he's amazing at sort of leading discussions. And then after that, like at some point, we're going to have, we want people's feedback, thoughts, what we care about. And then we'll sort of refine this, have them be more directed topics as we go forward. But yeah, we want to start a virtual town hall series. Yes, this will be on TikTok. And then like everyone who attends the People's Receipts, my show, knows I push our shows to X, to YouTube, to Twitch. So, I mean, and we all kind of do our own thing. But yes, you can watch from YouTube. Mine's A Girl Has No Name if you want as well, because I'm always, like right now, we're live on YouTube and Twitch from my account. So, yeah, but it will be primarily on TikTok. And this is just our way of giving voice to people, right? And eventually we'll refine it to subjects. And that's what we want to hear. We want to hear from people and what matters to them. And then as we grow and this becomes bigger and bigger, we can get candidates, we can get representatives from nonprofits, subject experts. I'm a huge fan and friend. I think he would say we're friends of Mr. Global. Like we'll have, industry experts talk about how Trump is cratering American oil and gas, or Dr. Danny can speak to maternal health deserts, or we'll talk about how because of the Medicaid right now, this morning, Republicans are talking about how the way they're going to cut Medicaid is through ending Medicaid expansion. Well, now rural hospitals will be closing shortly, right? And we want to give voice to that. Maybe Will Westmoreland, can come and speak to, rural farmers and their struggle. So, I mean, that's the idea as I see it. We want it to grow and grow. And also bring on more creators, have different creators that help us come on and promote these ideas, maybe start a Discord around it. And really, I think we're all feeling really helpless. So hopefully there's going to be opportunities to volunteer, help us as well, because I know what it's like to feel like I need something to do. I'm not sure what to do. Can someone effing tell me what to do? I do understand that energy. And hopefully there will be opportunities. And everyone can use their unique skill sets to help us grow this movement.
Well said.
Just real quick, I want to say, I know them, okay? Now that I'm calmed down and my brain is working, okay? It is. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Never point your weapon at anything you do not intend to shoot. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you are ready to fire. Keep your weapon on safe until you intend to fire. I do know them. Now that my brain is working, I just wanted to show all of you that I know what I'm fucking talking about.
Somebody asked in the chat, I'll host it tonight on my page, and then we'll rotate it around. We just decided on that yesterday, so I'll host it tonight. So, and Matt, any thoughts? Again, I know you got a lot going on, and somebody had asked the question about, was it mostly Wednesday? We decided to move it to Tuesday, so we'll start it tonight. So it'll be every Tuesday, and we'll get going.
And that is 100% my fault. I take full responsibility for the last minute scheduling change. I decided that Wednesdays weren't going to work for me, and I said, you all have to conform to what I want or I'm out. And
His daughter has a solo, which is amazing.
Yeah, my kid has her last chorus concert for her freshman year of college, and she's got a solo this time, so I'm going to be there for that. 2 different times. It's not 2 different times. It starts at 7 p.m., ends at 10 p.m. Starts at 4 p.m. Pacific, ends at 7 p.m. So 4 to 7, 7 to 10.
Correct. So, everybody come with an open mind, come with things right on your idea. And I love what Felice said. We talk about this all the time about doing something, whatever that something might be. It may not be politics. It could just be community service. It could be, mowing lawns for a neighbor. It could be attending, reading to kids after school. It could be driving people who don't have access to vehicles to the VA or to a doctor's appointment. We're all in this together. We know that our elected officials don't have it out for us. They have it in for us, not out. They're not looking out for us. So it's on us. Again, the energy that I got from attending a rally over the weekend was it was amazing to see. 3.5% of the population is the target. And from initial reportings, it seems like that's 2 weekends in a row that they've had rallies. And it looks like we've gone above those numbers. You're now seeing it globally. A lot of other communities around the globe are something jumping on board. So the world is waking up, and we're here to make sure.
It says, where can they send ideas? Maybe we need to make like a handle or something. I actually get a lot of D threats on the internet, so I don't check my own messages a lot. It's an agreement I have with my
we
therapist.
just start a Gmail account or something.
Yeah. God, I'm not checking it.
I'll check it.
Okay.
I could check it.
I would say in the meantime, you can message us. Once we get going, you can message us at
We're going to take a few guests tonight as well. That's what we mean by town hall. We want to give voice to people who have thoughts and ideas. You know what I mean? And are concerned about things in their local communities like that. Mm-hmm. And but I think maybe that is what we'll do. We'll start some sort of handle, and we're going to bring in some mods that can help us do this, and people who want, let's start a signal chat. Exactly. And we'll add Pete Hegseth, and it will be amazing.
Suck him in, Felice.
We'll be sucked up into it. That's what happens. Maybe we'll all be sucked up into it. That's how it goes on Signal.
That's how that works.
And Matt's going to speak to veterans' rights, which is something I was just reading a few articles about what's going on with the VA, and it's so concerning to me.
Yep. Head Start under attack. I have a new reporting this morning about that. So anyway,
I was talking about that yesterday. I can't even deal with it. Yeah, and another $3 billion has been canceled for literacy programs through Linda McMahon. So when you said reading to children, that's going to become more important than ever because
your student loans are going to start going to collections if you don't pay them.
I had to listen, MAGA. I hope one of you is listening to this because you guys are literally incompetent. I had to listen to MAGA talking about how a worldwide unpreventable pandemic hurt students' reading levels. Yes, that's very true. And now your president, unprovoked, completely unnecessary, is making sure to take money from trainings to help teachers, help people learn to read, and programs that help people learn to read. Can you explain it? Not because of a pandemic. Ballistic podiatry, unprovoked, shooting us all in the foot. You tell me why he's doing that. Embarrassing. Sorry.
I know. Hey, I've got to jump into some capitalism, but again, thank you guys for doing this, and thank everybody for watching. And I know Matt does this every day, Felice does this every day, I do this every day. It's really important to the three of us, and we know it's important to you. I am honored to be part of this with the three of you guys, and I'll see you tonight. 7
Bye.
o'clock.
See you later, Gator.
Love you guys. See you later.
See ya.
4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And someone asked if you can't make it, if there will be a replay. Yes. All the replays, whenever I'm live, they post to my YouTube at AGirlHazzNoName. Yeah. So if I'm ever on a live and you want to watch it or can't make it, they're all available. All of our lives that Matt and I do, the replays are available. This is episode 4.
Yep.
This is what the background, the thumbnail looks like what Matt has in the background, and it's available.
Hey, you want to see something funny?
Yes,
because this is going to be a thing that
my ADHD
MAGA goes back.
Full
I know. I was just like,
I know. Steve's like, what the F are these two up to?
I know. It's just, hey, so the stock market is up today, 1,000 points. The Dow Jones is up 1,000 points. But
it's still
here's something fun though.
Egregiously down.
I know. This is going to be it's rebounding. It's rebounding. If we look for the past 3 months though, it's not. It's literally
first. What it's rebounding from is the extreme crash.
Yeah,
the
y'all see this?
Fall it was in yesterday.
You see this right here?
Remember yesterday?
And then it was.
While Trump's at an Easter egg hunt, screaming at kids, showing them his assassination baseball card. The stock market was in free fall.
I had when I was at the protest on Saturday. some guy drove by and he's like, I've got so much more money in my pocket right now because the stock market's doing so good. I was like, you must be invested in failure, because that would be the only stock that is doing well. It's like failure. I'm a failure. And no, he doesn't, because unless he started investing yesterday.
That's just a lie of someone. That's like a sign you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
My new favorite thing is like watching MAGA, because they don't understand math at all, or the economy, or the markets. So when the 10-year interest rate yield is when the 10-year yield is rising, MAGA starts posting screenshots of it, going, "Look at what Trump's doing. We're winning." And then economists had to be like, that's extremely bad.
That's not good at all, guys.
That's never before seen in the U.S. economy. That means that it's never going to be cheap to borrow money again.
Yeah.
They were like, Trump, so much winning. Look at this graph. And they're like, no, that is the opposite of winning.
Yeah. This is not what you want. Green is going up isn't always good.
Yeah, they didn't know that. They don't understand. They're like, what that is Japan and China dumping all of their U.S. bonds. That's what you're seeing. Is Japan and China dumping bonds.
You know what we haven't talked about is this unprecedented partnership between China, Japan, and South Korea.
Oh my God. I know. Who knew the enemies of the friends.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Is my friend. Yeah. It's bringing Asian countries together in mutual hate.
Hey, I guess we're healing wounds.
We are. Well, and the wounds
globally.
we caused by traipsing through all European countries, by traipsing through there and taking our military incursions. And now all of a sudden, look at them all just holding hands in mutual disgust.
I gotta say, if
JD Vance,
if you don't understand why it's such a big deal that China, Japan, and South Korea are like, we should probably just work together. You can just go and look at the history of World War II and what Japan did to China to understand how big of a fucking deal this is. Okay.
I know it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
And we are being cut out of trade deals left and right. I could go, like I said, I could go into this MAGA. At any time, I would suggest taking an economics class so you can understand how effed our future is. Because one of the dumbest things, let me help you. This is just a little freebie, MAGA. If you have the nerve to say out loud, and anything with similar meaning, short-term pain, long-term gain, that is a sign that you are the dumbest person on earth.
Yes.
That tells me that you understand nothing about the world economy. Mm-hmm. There is no long-term gain in what is happening. Zero. Trade partnerships are being realigned. They already have been.
Yeah.
I've talked about this. The China strategy has been a long-term silent strategy. The U.S. plays, let's say, chess in the terms of a military game, right? Mm-hmm. Our plan was militarism to prop down military bases all over the world. China has a different strategy. They have a different game that's even older than chess. It's called Go.
Right.
And it's a strategic game. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is one of the oldest strategy games in the world, and it's way better than chess. And the object is to take up so much space that no one else can move.
And when you have...
That's what China has been silently doing.
Yeah. And when you have China canceling $400 billion of beef imports from the United States and being like, we'll just get it from Australia then. And then you have China saying, we'll just stop importing soybeans from the United States.
Oh, I was just,
we'll get it from Brazil.
Out of my ADHD. I was going to, listen, people don't know this, but 28% of the world's soybeans are produced in the U.S. It is such a sustaining thing for farmers in the Midwest. They're pretty easy to grow from the ground, even with bad conditions.
Yep.
And that is how farmers, are staying alive.
Yep.
28% of the world's soybeans are produced in the U.S. and a huge chunk of what we produce has been going to China. And I'm here to tell you 52% of the world's soybeans are produced in Brazil.
Yep.
And That is now, we are being cut out of partnerships. And I'm telling you, this is not something we can recover from. We are being cut out of trade partnerships we will never get back.
Let me put this into perspective for people. In 2024, China imported 50% of the U.S. soybean exports. All right, that came out to 27 million metric tons of soybeans, $12.8 billion of soybeans.
They feed them to their livestock.
That China has just said, or we'll get it from Brazil. Fuck you.
And it's very similar with what's happening in the U.S. oil industry. Like, while Trump's talking, and just understand this, we're never bringing, manufacturing's not coming back. That's not happening. That's never going to happen. So you can stop dreaming about that.
Yep.
Like, this is all delusion.
We're
offshoring. And you know what China has? For every one oil refinery, they have 20.
Yeah.
And they can get the cheaper, sour, heavy crude from Canada.
Yeah.
And they can refine it.
You know what is so goddamn funny is all of the MAGA conservatives that are looking at this Honda plant that's now going to be manufacturing Honda Accords or whatever in fucking Indiana instead of in Mexico. That plant has always been a thing that Honda has owned. They continue to build cars there. They're just going to add these cars into it. But on top of that, you're going to see about a 20% increase on the price of those cars, which is going to make it hard for Honda to compete in the United States.
And then
they're going to be like, well, they're making vehicles here in the United States. And then they're going to go try to buy one and be like, why is it so goddamn expensive for this Honda car? And then you guys do realize that Honda is a Japanese automaker, right? Like, they're not American automakers. They're not Chevy, right? They're not Ford. They're Honda. So all of that extra money that you're now going to pay for your fucking Honda Accord is going to go back to a Japanese fucking company. So this whole idea, like, we're fucking saving America. America first. America first. Y'all are participating in the globalist economy every time you buy a Honda. You guys are so fucking stupid.
Oh, it knows the stupidity of MAGA knows no bounds. It's like if the same person broke into your house and stole from you like once a week.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out who it is.
Yeah.
And and spoiler alert, it's the guy you vote for president.
Every time.
Who just continually is breaking into your house and robbing you. And then you're like, someone's stealing from me. I can't figure out who it is, but I love Donald Trump. You guys are embarrassing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Fucking insane. Tracy would like to make some mod announcements real quick before I have to end the live because I have therapy. So, Tracy, the floor is yours.
Hopefully it's for your brain.
It is.
Hi, Matt. Hi, Felice. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here. First off, we really do appreciate it because we know that you could go to other lives, but you come to this one and we really, really appreciate it. And the numbers are great and we really appreciate that as well. And I did not, for all those people who immediately said, look, Tracy's here, quick, start tapping or she's going to yell. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to yell. It's almost over.
That. That's power. That's great. Let's get Matt to 200K before he leaves. That's a great goal.
Seriously, if I said that, and they probably would do it. We appreciate that you tapped and that you shared and that you did everything, even without me being up here. Just a reminder, on Tuesdays, when Matt